is a transition on Atlantic Television Network. Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the successful accreditation of 121 media personnel from 144 media organizations to cover the upcoming Edo State governorship election on September 21, 2024. The accredited outlets, which include newspaper, radio, television, and online platforms, have collectively submitted the details of 721 personnel who will be deployed to cover the election. A statement released by its National Commissioner and Chairman of Information and Voters Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, said the personnel will serve as reporters, cameramen, broadcast engineers, and support staff during the election, adding that the list of accredited organizations and personnel have been verified and made available on INEC's official website and social media platforms. The INEC said accreditation tags would be ready ahead of the election to allow unhindered access to voting and collecting centers, and also urge media organizations and observers to adhere to their professional ethic and abide by legal framework and the Commission's regulations throughout the election process. Meanwhile, the Commission said it had opened its online portal for the accreditation of media organizations and journalists for the November 16, 2024 Ondo State governorship election. Ahead of the September 21 governorship election in Edo State, the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party has continued their allegation and counter-allegation about campaign violence in the state. A statement signed by the APC Campaign Council Media Director Kassim Afebua condemned two recent attacks on the party's campaign team, accusing the PDP of being behind the attack but twisting the narrative to appear as victims. He said the rate at which propaganda has swallowed the PDP in Edo State in the campaign season is quite alarming. Why some hackers, spinners, hearing, and cloners were in town in order to twist narratives to suit their bulwark ego to confuse Edo voters. But reacting to the allegation, the chairman of the Akoko Edo LGA, where one of the attack occurred, Tajuddin Ladin, said it is laudable to make such allegation against them. It is laughable, rather, to make such allegation against the deputy governor, considering the number of security men and police as well as soldiers and DSS that are following them in their campaigns. Analyst says politicians in Nigeria do not obey the provision of the constitutions but run politics purely for their selfish interest. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a human rights activist, Haya King, said political gladiators in Nigeria are extremely political and self-centered.
Have always said that Nigerian politicians, they don't do what is right, they don't do what is legal, they don't do what is constitutional, they only do what is political. And what is political is most of the time unconstitutional, most of the time against the law, is immoral, is illegal. That's what that's their stock in trade. They only do what is political. And what is political is most of the time lies, and lies.
Hayakin cautioned politicians against lawlessness in the bid for political office.
They want to become governors to be able to run the state and control the fund for the next 4 years. That's actually what is happening. And they are ready to kill people. They are ready to destroy properties. They are ready to destroy lives. They are ready to do anything. They are ready to do anything to make sure they perpetuate themselves in power or they get into power. Unfortunately, that is what their stock in trade is.
This is coming after the Edo State Governorship Campaign Council has raised an alarm accusing Governor Godwin Obaseki of planning a shutdown Edo State through mass protest, stating on November 15, 2024, to disrupt the forthcoming gubernatorial election in the state. In a press statement by the Director of Media, Prince Kassim Afebua, alleged that Governor Obaseki outlined his plan in a meeting at the Edo State Government House. Cross River State Governor Basi Otu has appealed to the Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogela to help establish the presence of the Navy in the coast of Calabar to attract coastal investment into the state and safeguard national oil assets and platforms within the state. He also called for an enhanced naval presence with an operational base along the maritime border between Nigeria and Cameroon at the Bakassi Maritime area. At the meeting he had with the naval boss, the governor said Cameroonian authorities have maintained security control while the Nigerian side remain underprotected. Worrying that this was very dangerous for Nigerians' maritime security, Otu said naval presence will ensure regional stability in the Bakassi coastal area and foster collaboration with the Cameroon to address mutual security challenges crucial for realizing the proposed Bakassi deep seaport. Expressing happiness for the good relationship existing between the state government and the naval authorities, he thanked them for their establishment in the state, including Nigerian Navy Ship Victory, the Eastern Naval Command, the Naval War College Nigeria, and the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital, among other key facilities and infrastructure in Calabar. Abia State Governor Alex Oti has expressed the readiness of the state government to partner with the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board to accelerate the development of the Abia Industrial and Innovation Park in Owoza, the Akwa West local government area of the state. The statement by the government's Chief Press Secretary Okoa on Tuesday, Oti expressed the readiness of the state when he received a delegation of the NCDMB led by the Executive Secretary Felix Ogbe, who spared him a working visit, and the governor thanked Ogbe and his team for their commitment to see that the project succeed. Earlier in his speech, Ogbe commended Oti for his effort to establish an industrial park, saying that in some states, they go to establish industrial park without the effort of the state government, but in Abia, the story is peculiar and different as the state government is the one pushing and making the effort, and expressed optimism that the project will succeed. Ogbe, who said he came in fulfillment of his promise to the governor to come and listen to what the state is doing and how they can partner with the state in establishing the industrial park, assuring that once he receives the state government's proposal, he will take it to the board of discussion. He expressed the hope that it is something worth doing. Imo State chapter of People's Democratic Party has claimed to have uncovered an alleged move by the APC-led government of the Hope Uzodinma to smuggle what is described as doctored list to the Independent State Electoral Commission ahead of the forthcoming LGA election scheduled for September 21. The allegation was made by the PDP through its state publicity secretary, Leolot Obiako, who accused Uzodinma's administration of preparing to submit pre-written results of the yet-to-hold LGA election to ISIEC. The statement alleged that Uzodinma's move is intended to disrupt the forthcoming local government poll by imposing candidates who neither purchase expression of interest and nomination forms or participated in the screening and primary election of the APC, and called the action a violation of the Electoral Act and the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The PDP Publicity Secretary also said Uzodinma IEC Chairman Charles Ejiogu and other senior officials of the commission to perfect the deal, and the allegation comes just a few days after SIEC Chairman Charles Ojodu, in a press statement, denied knowledge of any list of candidates when the allegation was first published in a local tabloid. Despite the ISIEC chairman debunking the story as false, the PC had accepted the doctored list and assembled it for the announcement after the LGA election, while Obiako, in a press statement, urged the party's chairmanship and council candidates along with party members to remain calm and law-abiding, assuring them that the PDP would do everything possible to prevent what he described as evil intention to deny them victory in the election. Some residents of Oworonchiki Koksofi local government area of Lagos State have protested that they have not been compensated since over a year that demolished. This is coming after the state government in July 2023 demolished buildings in the area with the special advisor to the state governor on media and publicity, Boyega Akosile, noting that the action was taken to get rid of hoodlums hiding in some of the structures. The publicity secretary of the African Action Congress in Lagos, Osato Hamamen Ebohon, who disclosed this when he joined the community members in the meeting, also mentioned that members of the communities were yet to be compensated, explaining that the victims cut across the young and elderly. The Lagos state government, however, clarified why some property owners may not be compensated when their properties are demolished by the government. The State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, said persons who build property on wetland or drainage channels were not entitled to compensation, as queries on whether the government made adequate compensation for those affected by the Orowoshoki demolition. The commissioner promised to find out about them. Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the remand of an Osun State traditional ruler, Oba Tofik Oshumakinde, at the Kuje prison in Abuja over an allegation of illness, illegal gold mining. Justice Emeka Wite made the remand over shortly after the monarch, who is the Obawere of Ife Tuntun in the Ife Central Local Government area of Osun State, was arraigned alongside 4 others on 2 counts bordering on illegal gold mining, including the monarch Sheikh Mustafa Sabiru, Hamin Dambaba Ibrahim, and Ade Olep Global Resources Limited. In the charge, the Attorney General of the Federation accused the 5 defendants of conspiracy with others at large on August 25, 2024 to engage in the illegal gold mining at the Ogunlokpe mining site in Lege Community, Odigbo local government area of Ondo State, and acted contrary to the Section 3, subsection 6 of the Miscellaneous Offences Act 2004, and were liable to punishment under Section 1, subsection 8 of the same Act. And all the defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges when read to them. Following their non-guilty plea, counsel for the federal government, Toluwa Lokpe Ojo, asked Justice Wite to give a date for the commencement of trials, while the defense counsel, Vincent Ododo, on his part prayed to the courts to grant his client's bail on various grounds. The federal government's lawyers did not oppose the bail application and urged the judges to impose conditions that will ensure their appearances in court for their trials. While in a brief ruling, Justice Wite granted each of the defendants bail in a sum of 20 million naira, with one shorty in a like sum, and adjourned till September 26 for hearing. Suspected bandits have adopted several persons in Kalafogo community, Kaguju, Kafanchan, and other villages in Jamal's local government area of the state, where 2 children were swept away and over 1,000 residents displaced. Vice Chairman of Jamal LGA, Christy Usman, made this known when she received the Kaduna State Impact Assessment Committee on flood on tour of affected communities in southern Kaduna. According to her, the flood incident, which happened in part of the Kafanchan municipal city, Janing D. Atuku, also embodied word also washed away farmlands, destroying crops with worth millions of naira, and the flood has affected the people of Jamal's council economically, expressing happiness that Governor Obasani has responded positively by sending the committee chaired by the Chief of Staff, Malam Sani Kila, to assess the impacts of the flood. She expressed optimism that the government will bring relief materials to the victim, especially flood items, building materials, and financial assistance. While briefing newsmen after visiting the affected communities in Sanga, Jamel and Kaichia community, the chairman of the committee and chief of staff of the governor, Malakeshiel, said thousands of people need immediate assistance. Bauchi State Governor Haisin Ali has approved the appointment of Barrister Abbasarum Deborah as secretary to the state government. A statement said the appointment followed the resignation of Professor Joseph Alakai, who tendered his resignation on Monday, and Alakai had in his letter of resignation stated that he needed time to address some personal challenges. Sato Sokola, the chief press secretary to the state governor Haisin Ali, announced this in a statement on Tuesday, said the new SSG Abba is a seasoned solicitor and arbitrator with a strong sense of initiatives and excellent analytical skill, and a graduate of the University of Jos and Nasarawa State University. Governor Alia believes that with her wealth of experience and trustworthy record of service, Oba will add significant value to his government, and urge her to always prioritize the interests of the state in her day-to-day official functions. The appointment takes immediate effect. United States Agency for International Development's Nigerian State Accountability, Transparency and Effectiveness activity has commended the Gombe State Executive Council for approving the 2025-2027 minimum term expenditure framework and the monitoring evaluation framework. The approval of the frameworks was announced by the Commissioner for Finance, Gombe Magaji, shortly after the SEC meeting presided over by the Governor Mohamudu Yahaya at the Exco Chamber of the Gombe Government House, while the medium-term expenditure framework and the monitoring evaluation framework, which encompass the economy and fiscal updates, fiscal strategy paper and budget policy statement, will serve as a basis for preparing the 2025 appropriation bill. He said the monitoring and evaluation framework will help measures and assess performance across government agencies, staff members and executive councils, while the approval of the economic framework and the Gombe State team lead Mohammed Abubakar said the ratification showed that its interventions were yielding the much-needed development, adding that when reform are implemented, the economic development will be enjoyed by the people, while both frameworks are achieved with the support of a state to state. He also said the monitoring and evaluation policy was developed with the support of UNICEF that will guide the implementations of the Gombe State 10 years adding day. The training enhanced participants' understanding of how the results framework strategy promotes evidence-based policymaking. United States Agency for International Development's Nigerian State Accountability, Transparency and Effectiveness activity has also improved participants' capacity on how to design and review data collection tools based on the prioritized key performance indicator from each of the sectors and ensure quality tracking and reporting. New Nigeria People Party has inaugurated a 5-member caretaker committee to take over the affairs of the party for 6 months in Gombe State. The inauguration is in equal to the dissolution by the National Working Committee of the party in 5 states, including Gombe State, while the 5-member caretaker committee is made up of Chairman Abdullahi Mohammed, Suleiman Hamza, Secretary Abubakar Kalanga, Dauda Mohammed, Bajoga and Ambrose Ismail. Adding that members, shortly after the inauguration, the chairman of the committee called for unity and support, adding that the committee has been established to strengthen the party structure and foster inclusiveness for future political engagement. The caretaker committee chairman called for togetherness, while coordinator Gombe Central Abubakar Kalaga called on members to unite towards making the party stronger. Police in Kano State has arrested a 30-year-old man, Mishbolshi Sani, and 2 others over the alleged kidnap of his 4-year-old cousin in Gwazo local government. The spokesperson of the command, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, who confirmed the arrest in a statement, said the Kano State Police Command surveillance team achieved a significant breakthrough in the case of the kidnapped 4-year-old boy, Mohammed Shah Jamiru. He said the victim was adopted from Sharada Quarter Kano, whisked to Gwazo town. Gwazo LGA, Kano State, kept hostage at the ransom demand of 10 million naira was made, and after negotiation, the sum of 300,000 naira was paid, pending the balance. However, on receipt of the report, the Commissioner of Police, Kano State Command, Suleiman Dagogbada, directed the victims to rescue the culprits by tribe and arrested. And the detectives succeeded in arresting 3 suspects, Hishbo Shi Shalu, Hassan Ali Rabiu, and Hassan Aliyu. Kiyawa said the victims were rescued unhurt and taken to the Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital, Kano, and later reunite with his parents, while the suspect will be taken to court for prosecution after investigation. His command has arrested 5 persons involved in criminal conspiracy and receiving of stolen property. The command's police public relation officer, Ahmed Wakli, on behalf of the State Commissioner of Police, Hawal Mohammed, explained that among the arrest suspects is a female individuals who have been implicated in receiving stolen tricycle from Kano State and subsequently selling them in Bauchi State. Ahmed Kwali disclosed that the exhibits recovered includes 7 tricycles popularly known as keke napep, adding that engaging in the receiving of stolen property is a serious offense with severe consequences following Section 427 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria. He also said any person can face impersonation for up to 14 years and appreciated the support and cooperation of the community in providing valuable information that led to the apprehensions of the suspects. Flood has ravaged communities across Yobe State, killing 4 people and injuring 43 others in few local government area of the state. The State Emergency Management Agency in the latest flood update said 1,978 households and the estimate 1,639 individuals from different communities and villages from the 13th ward of the LGA were severely affected by the disaster, and the incident led to the destruction of about 1,215 houses, injury to about 43 persons with 4 deaths recorded. According to the agency, Governor Ali Malabuni has directed immediate support to the affected households, while the stock of farmland affected is notified. Borno State government says elephants are absent in the Sambisa forest. The Director of Forestry and Wildlife in the Ministry of Education, Yauba Peter, who discloses, said the last government survey regarding the presence of elephants in the forest has confirmed their absence. He said government conducted the survey before the Boko Haram insurgency and found that its population has been depleted by activities of poachers. And you're watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break.
Front lines across the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, social economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your hits on the happenings around the world. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATM. From night across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussion.
Welcome back. This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. House of Representatives has directed the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board to transfer $3.602 billion to the federal government's Consolidated Revenue Fund within 30 days. This directive was issued by the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Rep. Bamidele Salam, during an investigative hearing in Abuja. The order followed a demand from the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, which accused JAM of failing to remit its full operating surplus to the federal government, adding that the remittance is based on regulatory guidelines, which is not subjected to personal interpretation, and insisted that JAM must adhere to the financial law regulating government agencies. The central point of the contention is whether JAM should remit 25% or 50% of its revenue, while JAM's Director of Finance and Administration, Mofutu Bello, defended the board's action, explaining that JAM has consistently remitted 25% of its revenue as granted by the Accountant General's office, stressing that JAM reduced its registration fees from 5,000 naira to 3,500 naira in 2019 to ease the financial burden on Nigerians. JAM urged that it has consistently over-remitted accordingly to the 25% threshold and has adhered to its practice each year. And despite JAM's explanation, the Public Accounts Committee wrote that the 3.602 billion naira must be remitted within 30 days and evidence of the payments should be provided.
As at 2021, and in agreement with the record we submitted to the committee, the liability is 320,725,324. It has
put naira or dollars, so we don't.
Naira, sir.
Your liability in dollars so that we know.
Naira, sir. Then, after the submission of that report, they have submitted their 2022 audited financial statement. We have computed the liability and duly informed them. The new liability as at 2022 is 3,622,605,277 naira only. This we have notified them via our letter written on the 14th of March 2024.
Mr. Chairman, sir, without due respect, sir, where we have
is that they want to move the ball to 50% of revenue. As an organization in 2019, because of our commitment to revenue remittance, the federal government reduced cost of administration from 5,000 to 3,500 for the benefits of all Nigerians. We have been following with passion the remittances of 35% and at least 35% on yearly basis. But this kind of responsibility, and we are in the educational sector, we have not increased any of our charges by 1 kobo in the last 8 years. Rather, we reduced our registration fee from 5,000 to 3,500, which is 30% reduction of our revenue. And we have appealed the Accountant General, the Budget Office of Nigeria, and all other offices. They always give us the concession to operate on 25% of remittances. Our budget in BIMS is based on 35%. The Accountant General reckon with us for 35%, but the Financial Fiscal Commission believe that we should go 50%. That's the area of difference. If we judge just on 35%, we have over-remitted over the years, and that's what we have been doing, and we are consistent, sir. Thank you, sir.
Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukayode, has described as embarrassing the situation in which lawyers roam the premises of the commission hunting for clients without considering the delicacy of their profession. He therefore urged the defense counsel in the commissions is to be guided by the ethic of their professions in the discharge of their duties. The EFCC chairman spoke with the leadership of the Ibadan branch of the Nigerian Bar Association led by its chairman, Ibrahim Lowell, who paid her a courtesy visit. A statement by the EFCC's head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, quoted Olukayode as saying it is disheartening how a reasonable number of lawyers come into EFCC premises to display unprofessionalism, trying to interface in investigation activities and pushing to get things done their way outside the standard operating procedure of the EFCC, while emphasizing the need for consistent stakeholders' engagement between the bar and EFCC towards effective service delivery. Olukayode assured lawyers in the country of the Commission's collaborations, which said was crucial in the law enforcement activities of the Commission, and thanked him for the reception according to delegation, stressing that for greater success to be achieved in the fight against corruption, there must be an effective collaboration between the EFCC and the bar. Federal Capital Territory Police Command has arrested a member of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, popularly known as Sheti Shuaibu Das, for allegedly attempting to bribe officers with 1.5 million to secure the release of Abdullah Karam Ahmed. The police added that Ahmed is a strong member and financier of the Sheti groups, and while parading the door at the commander, FCT Commissioner of Police Benedict Igwe said Ahmed was arrested by the operatives of the State Intelligence Department in connection with the murder of 2 officers during their profession on Saturday, August 25, 2024. The police claim Sheti's attacked its men without provocation, killing 2 policemen and destroying 3 patrol vans, while the police subsequently arrested 97 Sheti's members in connection with the incident. But the leader of the Sheti group, Professor Shia Hassan Meguru, distanced his members from the killings and destruction of police vehicles, while the FCT Commissioner of Police said Daz and Ahmed will be charged with bribery and arraigned in court. Ahmed, who confers to being a member of Shetia, said he warned his brother against securing his bail. Some Northerners under the platform of the Consensus Scholars for Peace and Development have warned saboteurs against insecurity and threw their weight behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed effort to tackle banditry in the region. This is coming following the instant attack by bandits and terrorists in the region. President Tinubu directed the Minister of State for Defense Bello Metawel and Service Chief to relocate to the northwest after the minister and the military bosses arrived in Sokoto State last week with a vow to tackle the insecurity challenges in the region. Speaking on the renewed fight, in a statement on Tuesday by its president, Dr. Zaramdim Mohammed Kabil warned saboteurs and collaborators not to distance Metawel and the armed forces. The group specifically disowned a Sokoto State-based Islamic cleric Malam Bello Asada for accusing the federal government of sponsoring bandits leaders, describing the claim as false and political motivated, and urged the federal government to be wary of individuals who come out to discredit, distract and blackmail state actors when the state takes the war to the bandits. Kabil called on the federal government to investigate people who seems to be impaired over the decisive actions of the government against the bandits, and urged the president not to succumb to distraction but to go all out for the bandits until they all surrender and give up their evil ways. And now to business reports. Parents Teachers Association and the Nigerian Union of Teachers have expressed fear of possible increase in the rate of school dropouts in the country due to the rising cost of bus fares across the country. They also warn that classes on days when they are unable to pay the increased transportation costs, and Lagos State primary and secondary schools were among the first to resume for the 2024-2025 section. Schools in Lagos State has gone on a long vacation, including the 2023-2024 section on July 19, 2024, while others were up on July 26, 2024, and at the time of the July break, a liter of fuel was priced at 750 naira, but is now sold for 900 to 1,200 naira, and the development has caused a sharp increase in transportation costs across the country. Both private and commercial transport operators have expressed frustration over the rising fare, while private schools across the country have also increased the cost of school bus services. National Chairman of the PTA, Alhaji Danjuma, expressed concern that the rising transportation costs would lead to more students drop out and stress the hardship faced by parents, while calling on the government at all levels to take urgent action to support parents, ensuring that their children continue attending school. Similarly, the Secretary General of the NUT, Dr. Mike Ikene, expressed concern that teachers will struggle to attend school regularly due to their embraced salary. Nigerian Exchange Limited has continued the week on the negative note as investors recorded 111 billion naira loss. This comes as NGX market capitalization, which opened at 55.394 trillion naira, shared 111 billion to close at 55.283 trillion. The all-share index also declined by 0.24% or 228 points to close at 96.205.84 points as against 96.433.54 points, while markets break closed positive with 34 gainers and 20 losers. The major drivers of the market relapse include transactional power alongside Tier 1 banks such as Net Bank and Access Corporation. On the gainers table, Exna and Taliza led 10% each to close at 33 naira and 77 kobo per share respectively. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and its joint venture partner Chevron Nigerian Limited have completed the conversion of 5 joint venture assets in compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021. The Chief Upstream Investment Officer at NNPC, Bawalawati, said the assets convention is expected to significantly boost crude oil production, with the two companies getting 1 650 barrels of oil per day at the end of 2024, while the importance of Chevron operational approach in maintaining network stability and ensuring a steady supply of gas to the domestic market. This transition follows the from the petroleum profits tax regime to the more investors-friendly PIA team, while in a statement released by NNPC's Chief Corporate Communication Officer Olufemi Soyene, the company said both partners signed the necessary document, adding that the agreement converted 5 oil mining licenses to 4 petroleum prospectivity license and 26 petroleum mining license. This convention represents a key milestone in increasing domestic gas supply and expanding Nigeria's footprint in the global market, while according to PIA provisions, all existing oil prospecting licenses and OMLs will automatically transition into PPLs and PMS upon expiration, as well as of opinion to voluntarily convert under the PIA teams. NNPC's Group CEO, Melekari, praised Chevron for its long-term partnership and reassured Chevron of NNPC's commitment to fostering the partnership and meant to create mutual value and strengthen Nigeria's role in both domestic and export gas markets. Nigerian Communication Commission has declared the introduction of the device management system aimed at bolstering security and protecting consumers in the country's mobile device market. It says the DMS will serve as the comprehensive central equipment identifier registered, creating an unified database for tracking and monitoring mobile devices across all network operators in Nigeria, while the new regulations outlined in the Type Approval Business Rule 2024 aim to prevent phone theft, curb the use of counterfeit device, and ensure compliance with established standard. It also said all mobile network operators are required to connect to the DMS and mirror network-related policy configured by the NCC, ensuring a uniform approach to device regulations, and the move is expected to significantly improve the security and integrity of Nigeria's communication network, protecting consumers and protecting a safer mobile ecosystem. A device registration fee was also introduced by the NCC for the NCC DMS, separate from existing type approval fees, and the fee will be mandatory for all registered devices. The Commission's objects phase announced in 2021 is to enhance transparency, accountability, and national security in a telecommunications sector while ensuring safe, significant utilization of Nigerians' communication infrastructure, and also to curtail the counterfeit mobile phone market. This mobile phone enhance national security, protect consumers' interests, as well as increase revenue generation for the government and reduce the rate of kidnapping. Still ahead, international tidbits. Northampton Crown Court in the United Kingdom has found Tosin Dada and Solomon Adebiyi guilty of multiple charges. Northampton shared police disclosed this in a statement on his official Facebook page, and this follows a week after a Nigerian pilot, Olukayode Ojo, was convicted in a Texas court in the United States for making false statements to obtain a certificate from the Federal Aviation Administration. Before their conviction, Northampton police stated that Dada and Adebiyi has each been charged with 3 counts of rape connected to the March 2022 incident, adding that the convicts had claims that engaged in the consensual sex with a 17-year-old girl, a claim the jury has now ruled against finding them guilty. After finding the two guilty of the crimes, the court ordered their remand pending sentencing, scheduled for October 25, 2024 at the same court. And now to sports news. Football transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has declared on the Twesen Remo linking Super Eagles strikers Victor Osimhen with a potential move to Chelsea in January. Romano spoke after the recent comments from the former Chelsea midfielder John Mikel Obi hitting at the potential move for Osimhen to Chelsea in the January transfer window. Chelsea tried signing the 25-year-old during the summer transfer window, but the negotiation broke down despite the Blues making round 4 contract offer. The Premier League West London club was unable to match the current salary that Osimhen was earning at the Napoli, and Osimhen eventually ended up joining Galatasaray on the season-long loan. Romano clarified that Osimhen is currently committed to honoring his contract with his new club, Galatasaray. Manchester United has identified the manager to take over from Erik ten Hag with the Donsman leave. The former Ajax manager is clearly under pressure following the Manchester United disappointing start to the season. The Mirror reports that United's co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe is considering flaming him, which has identified former Real Madrid manager Zinedine Zidane as the possible replacement for Ten Hag. While the Red Devil finished 8th in the Premier League last season, while also being knocked out of their campaign's league group, Ten Hag was about being sacked before Lockstone on him to win the FIFA Cup final against City rivals Manchester United. While the club's revamped board decided to stick with him, but the start to the current season has intensified the pressure on him. After managing a 1-0 win over Fulham, Manchester United suffered a 2-1 defeat to Brighton on the road and were then dismantled by the Liverpool at Old Trafford, and the poor form has only highlighting discontinuity on Ten Hag. And now to entertainment news. Peter Negard, the founder of one of Canada's longest clothing brand, was sentenced Monday to 11 years in prison for 4 counts of sexual assault of women and a girl in Toronto. He faces release in about 6.5 years with credits for 10 time spent in a pre-trial custody or sooner if he is granted parole. He was convicted in November 2023 of using his status as the head of one of Canada's largest women's wear makers to sexually assault 3 women and a 16-year-old girl between 1988 and 2005. And his trials he had invited him to his Poland, Canadian office on the pretense of lucrative modeling or other opportunities, only to find themselves trapped in a top-floor bedroom suite with a hot tube where he preyed on them. The case makes a spectacular fall for the man who once hawked blouses and slack at major department stores and his own outlet, and threw lavish parties at his home in the Bahamas as the mayhem-inspired playground with fake volcanoes and Los Angeles. Prosecutors have sought to have Megard incredited for the last 15 years, while the defense cited his advanced age and failing health, urging releasing him within 2 years, while the judge noted his sentencing decision a high level of violence, degradation, and duration of a sexual assault, as well as the manipulation used to get the victims into his private apartment. American rapper Lil Durk has advised his fellow artists against making friends with their colleagues. According to him, the music industry is fake and urged artists to focus on making money. On his ex-handle, he said the industry is trying to be friend with the world. And that's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Immaculata Irikana. Follow us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1X, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress.
the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on 18.